tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Miriam and Unos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah. Hey, what is up? AfterBuzzTV.com. What's up, all you younger fans? It's me, Joe Doyle, and my lovely and talented co-host,
Sam Davidson over here.
That's right. She's coming in, joining the party for Younger. She's also my co-host on The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and Undateable, yeah. Great to have you here.
Apologies for my dance moves. I just can't even believe you made me do that right now.
I watched her whip.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I watched her nay-nay. That's right. No, that's my new jam. And Younger is my new jam as far as TV shows, you guys.
Me too.
Welcome to everyone else that are just finding out about Younger, that's just joining the party. There's 3 episodes that have been out so far, and this one is episode 3 we're talking.
Yes.
Title is IRL. In real life, for those of you not down with the TeamSpeak language.
See, I even think that we are too old for IRL. I'm 27. IRLs and my sisters are in high school, and that's a high school thing. I never said IRL either.
See, I am 33, but I played a lot of World of Warcraft in my college years, so I had to make sure that I could, figure out my online life with my real life. So I'd type IRL.
So
all
this
those people out
episode
there.
really touched you.
It did.
IRL.
That's the thing that I love about this show is that even though I'm a 33-year-old male, I can relate to a lot of this that's going on.
Yeah, and not a creepy way. Not a creepy way. Okay, no.
Some people probably think it's creepy,
but it's not creepy unless you say it's creepy.
Well, that's true. Fair enough. Well, we open this episode with Liza getting ready to smash Josh.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and she starts by derobing right in front of her good friend Maggie.
Yes.
And I just know her as Debi Mazar, who is amazing.
She's hilarious.
But yes, Maggie, I'm learning all the names too. She just drops everything in front of Maggie and is like, "Tell me what you think of my body." Honestly, tell me what you honestly think about everything.
Yeah. And she had a nice landing strip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Maggie, what do we really know about her? Because I was reading a summary review of the show, and it said something about her character, and I was thinking to myself, I didn't know that she was
a lesbian.
Yeah, I didn't really pick up on a couple things, and then I rewatched them, and I was like, oh. Yeah. Because she's a wild card that she's starting her new life with.
Yeah, and it's funny because in the couple episodes previous, some of Liza's married friends were like, "You're staying with the lesbian?
Yes.
Girl, if you need some time, you need some place to stay." Like all of a sudden Maggie's gonna corrupt her for some reason. I love Maggie's character. I think she's a good rock, and she gives okay advice.
Yeah.
That Liza takes.
She's like a Samantha.
She is totally like a Samantha.
Yeah, Sex and the City reference, guys. Sure, everyone listening got that.
Hey, they better have, because I know I followed the show from the creators of Sex and the City.
Of course.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys did too. Do girls do this? I've never. I don't go in front of my guy friends. I'm like, guys, I might get lucky tonight. How does it look?
They do that in Girls, also the HBO show. Say that we bathe in front of each other and shave our, and we just, not to speak for every young woman, but we don't know. It's really not a thing.
No, and they also revealed their names for their vaginas, which is Frida, which is hilarious because
gross.
Yeah, she's the artist with the unibrow. That's the first thing I thought. It's unibrow pubes. Side note, tangent. That's why I love Younger, is because it's pushing the boundaries a lot for a Nick at Night show. You know what I mean?
TVLand, yeah.
TVLand, yeah. Sorry, TVLand. It pushes the boundaries quite a bit. And so I think that's pretty cool. But
yeah, like they tried with Hot in Cleveland, and I think it took, but you couldn't take that far because like you don't want to see Betty White, having sex with Josh.
Yeah, you know what? I think Betty White would like to see that.
I would like to see anyone having sex with Josh, honestly.
I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, and Josh, well, have some fun.
Whoa. I don't even want a tattoo. I always said I would never get one, but I would like reconsider if he did it.
Well, there you go. That's why he's so successful. He just gets those ladies putting hands all over them.
Yeah, I guess so.
I loved Maggie's name, the Entertainment Center.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know. Do all girls also name? I've heard of some girls naming their boobs. And then I've named the Twig and Giggleberries. Big Sam and the Twins. Sorry, no reference to you.
Yeah, okay.
But since they shared, I thought I would share too.
I seem super lame right now, but no, I don't. I really don't.
So if you do have a name for any of your parts, go ahead and throw it up online. You can check us out on iTunes. Leave a comment there. Leave a comment on YouTube. But we'd love to hear it. Yeah. For no creepy reason, but just for hilarious reasons.
Yeah, everyone, apparently people, maybe I do, and I just don't, I haven't discovered.
In mixed company, you might be, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm more into naming other people, but you know what? Let's move on from that.
Yes, let's do that, please. Sorry about that, folks. It just was a funny scene. And so she gets ready for her big night out with Josh because Josh has been texting. And he's pretty forward. He wants to hang out. Josh really likes Liza, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's not weird, but she thinks that it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying this the whole time. I really like this show, but there's a part of me that's like, man, like she's lying, like big time. That's a big deal.
Do you think it's a big deal?
I do. I think to lie about your age, that you have a daughter, like, and you're gonna be sleeping with someone.
Fair enough.
And he really likes her. Like, I could see him being like, I wouldn't, not to get into predictions, but, that I wouldn't care if you were honest with me. Like, to lie to someone for that long, you gotta be kind of crazy, I think.
Interesting. I dated a younger girl for a little bit, but I didn't feel a need to hide my age. But then again, I was a lot worse at that. I put on a song, Atomic Dog from George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, and she's like, "Oh, I heard this song. This was in the Beverly Hills Chihuahua soundtrack."
Oh, God.
And I knew right there that
that was your problem right there.
No, perfect. It was a great girl. Just lives did not intersect as much as Josh and Liza's seemed to be, which is really exciting. Mm-hmm. And so they're getting ready for their meetup, but Liza's got to go to work, and she encounters Trout on Match.com on a dating site. Was it Match.com? It looked like something similar.
Yes, or it was OkCupid or Match.com, and someone made a comment about OkCupid. It was like, maybe that was in my life, actually. Maybe. I think I might be confusing them in my life. But
Trout signs up, and they do a photo shoot specifically for the dating site.
Yep.
And I know I've seen a couple of people going on photo shoots for social media, and you can tell because they might be using good cameras, but it's just weird situations that they're putting themselves into.
Yeah, it's like their lunch hour.
Yeah.
And they're just like sitting there.
And they pick the weirdest times. Yeah, like lunch hour is the perfect time for I found that in your car.
Yeah.
And then you got the seatbelt buckle. But she does a sexy photo shoot for her.
She's actually a very attractive woman.
Oh, yes, I agree. I think the actress's name is Miriam Shor, who plays Diana Trout. And yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have any problems because she gets a little announcement that she has a match. And she freaks out about the sound. I freaked out about the sound a couple times on OkCupid before.
I thought she was like looking for her phone because it seemed as though, do you guys ever lose your phone and then you call it? I thought she was calling her cell phone
and she
was like looking for it, but it was like such a random, I guess only if you do online dating you would know that, like,
it's so
reference.
Because you hear it, it's a very distinct sound, and when you hear it, you're like, oh, I can't wait. Okay, let's see who this is. But it also reeks of desperation. Like, I felt so bad for her when she was like, oh my gosh, let's go find out who I matched with. And she matched with a stud.
Apparently.
Yeah. They had Liza start it was kind of a Cyrano de Bergerac kind of Roxanne online.
Yes.
Where Liza was typing as Miss Trout.
Yep.
And it worked.
It did.
And there's some little rhyming couplets, and next thing you know, you got a date with Miss Trout.
Yep.
And so that's another exciting side story that we're going off of. But Kelsey, one of my favorite characters, aka Hill Dog.
Hill Duff.
Mm-hmm. Hill Duff. She has her own adventures that she's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting, her character.
Yeah, she's trying to be like Ari from Entourage, just since I, reference Sex and the City and Entourage all together, and she's going out and trying to sign the Swedish author.
Yes, but she goes and it's all in Swedish. I mean, how could you really not know that you were going to go to a all Swedish book reading?
That's a good point. I mean, maybe she was just so excited to try and get some FaceTime, and she wasn't really going to listen to it anyway. I don't know.
But she was surprised when she sat down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, Hilda, think.
It reminded me of the time that I didn't think I was going into a meeting for a pyramid scheme. And then right when I sat down, I'm like, oh, this is a pyramid scheme. And there's no break for me to get up and walk out.
Oh.
And I mean, it's not like that Kelsey could anyways, because she's trying to impress the author. And it works. She goes up to the author.
Because she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous. But
a gorgeous American girl.
That has some swag, some business swag, too.
Yeah.
Because that's another reason why I like her. She's a gorgeous American girl, but at the same time, she doesn't rely on her sexiness and her gorgeousness to get her along in life. She puts in the hard work, and she gets a little drink opportunity, some more FaceTime with the author. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, let's just jump right into the date. There was sparks. I don't know if you felt it.
Wasn't a date.
It felt like a date after they were chatting. It was like business, but then business. Maybe I was wrong. I mean, I meant to say business meeting.
Yes.
But
it did turn into kind of like a date.
There was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of flirtatiousness. I know that she's trying to, woo him as far as business wise. But especially at the end, there was that look that they shared after he's like, "Oh, it's my wife." And then Kelsey's like, oh, it's my boyfriend. Ugh.
Yeah, it definitely took a turn there because before that moment, I was totally creeped out by him.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, ew, like she doesn't want to do that. Gross.
Yeah,
no.
he seems kind of older, like a wayfaring sailor or something, but maybe it's just the Swedishness in the beard.
Maybe, but I mean, while she doesn't let her looks give her opportunities, she kind of should know, she should know that her looks are going to affect certain situations. She's so oblivious, it seemed, in this episode until the end.
Well, and that's what's interesting, because I always viewed her as a really she's a powerful woman, especially in Hollywood. But in this, it's hard because she's playing against type. She's horrible at choosing men. That Thad guy, shout out to Dan Embroyer, who favorited one of my tweets on Twitter the other day. So shout out to Dan, who plays Thad, but he's such a jerk. The character Thad is such a jerk, and so I don't think Kelsey is really. I don't think she listens to her own advice. She gives Liza a lot of girl advice, and and about guys, but I don't think she listens to her own heart. And I find myself doing that the same thing sometimes. I'll give advice to friends that are, worrying about dating, and then I'm like, well, why don't I just do that and then be done with it and be fine?
You have sisters, don't you, Joe?
I have one sister. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
How do you know?
So, you can tell when a guy talks about women, how they were raised. Is she your younger sister?
Yeah, 2 years younger.
Yeah, so you're protective over her.
I was very, very protective of her.
Aww.
Many a times in college, I remember staring down some guys in my fraternity that were looking at her a little cross-eyed.
Would you give her pep talks about?
No, she did not talk to me about that stuff at all. But the thing is, she didn't need any protection. And now she's married to an awesome guy. I couldn't have a better brother-in-law. Shout out to Justin. But she could totally take care of herself. She didn't need my protectiveness. One day she called me over to a big party. It was wine Wednesdays, I think, and all the girls were out in a semicircle out in the front lawn, and she taught self-defense classes and flipped me over her shoulder, knocked the wind out of me, and told me I could return to my home. That's all she needed to show.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, so I mean, she could take care of herself, but I was very protective, so
Well,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Big
Thanks.
Papa Bear over here that loves Younger.
Yeah, I do. I love Younger. Can I thank you, fans. Fans, we need to tweet about it. We need to make sure that we're talking about it and make sure that we get another season of Younger out there and lots more seasons of Younger. I never thought I'd be saying that, but I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm hooked. I think that Sutton is so just lovable.
Yeah, and it keeps on getting better and better, and you can tell they're kind of like picking up speed. And I thought this episode was like so much better than the first one, and the first one was really good.
Yeah.
Just keeps on getting better.
Yeah, she tries so hard and you want her to succeed, but then you know things aren't going to work out. You just know, oh, that's not going to work. And it's just so fun to see her go on this journey.
Yeah, well, I also want to say that I like that we got to see her ex-husband. I forget what his name was.
Oh, yeah, Jerky McJerkson.
Yeah, that was interesting because they don't say that much about her life before this started. Like, you know a little bit, but you don't know much at all. Tom, yeah. Who was a total jerk, but you could tell, like, he really, like, maybe didn't want to be. Couldn't help it. Just one of those guys that's just, I don't know, there's something happened there. They had a child, and I wish, hopefully we'll get to know more about it in the future.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even realize until now, and maybe I missed something in the first couple episodes or this one, but yeah, we don't know what happened. Maybe Liza, maybe it was Liza's fault. But we haven't seen that angle yet.
I think he lost his money, or it was he like lost their stuff, and
he definitely was not. I mean, and the way that he was just spiteful on this made her have to deal with paying for all of the furniture and the movers. That was sleazy.
But that's the kind of guy in his head. He's like, well, I did a good thing there.
Yeah,
I left everything.
Yeah, no problem. But he knew. I hope. He had to have known what was going on.
People like that suck.
Passive aggressive, jerk faces.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm so glad they introduced us to him, because it's like, wow, what a jerk someone did, and so you really kind of feel like you're on her side.
Yeah. And then we find out that Trout goes on that date after we see the scene of all the furniture and the whole debacle about having to go through divorce and a separation. There's hope because Trout's going out. Hot night. And she's waiting and she sees a guy. Have you ever been on a blind date or done a internet date?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I know I've done the same thing. And that first time, like, you see them walking over, you're like, is it this person? No, it's not. But when you actually see the person, if you haven't gone on a date, it's the weirdest feeling.
You don't know, and like sometimes you go up to a stranger and stand next to them because you think it's your date, but it's just a stranger.
And yeah, it's probably totally different for a girl versus a guy. I mean, I feel like, I'm supposed to introduce myself, and girls are probably waiting to be introduced, or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm just weird. I think I've done a few weird things. I've been like, oh no, I was talking on the phone. I didn't say, hi, I'm Sam. I was, talking to someone. But I also once went on one of those dates with someone, and it was a guy I was talking to on OkCupid or something, but I thought it was a different one.
Ooh.
And I got him confused, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so awkward. I spotted the guy, and I was like, I'm going to be on a date with this other guy. But then I realized I was just going to be on a date with that one guy who I was not expecting.
Well, the embarrassment of riches over there in the internet dating with you.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. I like seeing that, though. It's funny.
Yeah, it's just a fun experience. The first time, one of the weirdest times is this girl came up to me, and I had my glasses and my beard, and I had like a little newsy hat on, and she's like, glasses, beard, are you a hipster? And I'm like, no, just dressed to go out. And then that was the start of that blind date. It was okay, it wasn't the best, but Trout does the same thing. She sees a hottie with a body walk right by,
creepy,
and then out comes like a very effeminate young gay guy.
Yeah,
and he just wants to see her for her bag.
Her purse. It was a nice purse.
Cobra and steel.
Something, yeah.
It was fly. And
she said something great. It was like, fashion is meant to be like experienced or worn, not, because he was like, you should have it in a case. I like her. She's growing on me because she comes off so harsh in the beginning, right?
She is.
She's going to end up being like one of Liza's biggest allies, probably.
And that was, and I saw that moment kind of happen when when she invited her date to sit down, because it was interesting. It was like she almost saw a totally different life perspective. Like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. There's other people dealing with things far worse than me. And she managed to at least try to enjoy herself in the midst of a really unfortunate situation. And so I'm really looking, maybe we won't go into it, but I'm interested to see Miss Trout's journey.
She even took a photo of him with the purse.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Do I make her feel older if I call her Miss Trout, or should I call her Diana?
Diana.
I will. Like Mrs. Trout, like she's a teacher or something.
I know. They downplay her sexiness. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, like she is. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to because I'm a gentleman. Okay. But she is very attractive.
Oh, you're now my mind is going places. Okay.
No, nothing bad, nothing bad. But keeping with the audience, I want to be appropriate. But I respect her game, girl. I respect her game. Now we go to the sexy. Now let's get to the sexy time because it's date night.
Yeah.
It's date night, and Liza goes out with Josh to the bar. And instantly feels insecure.
Yeah.
Because, he's a hot young stud. He's well known around the area for his tattoos. And these girls are coming by and showing their little midriffs of where they want guns, like little revolvers and trying to be all sexy. And she's just sitting back like, how am I going to compete?
Yeah, it's like, I give up.
Yeah. And again, another reason, because I can relate, when I went on a date with that younger girl, I'd see like these other strapping lads walk by and their friends and totally platonic friends, but I was like, oh,
too much work.
Yeah, exactly. This is gonna be tough. And but that's why she's so lovable, and
it's part of her age too. She's 40. She's like, ugh, I can't. I could have done this when I was 23, but
yeah,
no more.
And the sweet Josh just gives her that positive reinforcement that she was looking for, which I thought was adorable. I really love this kind of budding romance that's going on.
Those two girls basically said they would have a threesome with him, is the vibe I was getting.
Yes.
That's pretty rude.
Or pretty...
Well, to do in front of another girl.
Yeah, definitely. On a date. That was obviously a date.
Yes.
But that was cool of Josh to say, hey, I don't got time for this right now.
But call me in maybe like 3 weeks when this is over.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out then. But Josh did something really interesting that I thought was funny. It's called the C maneuver. Mm-hmm. And I learned the C maneuver on a reality show called The Pickup Artist. And the C maneuver is you draw a C on a girl's face.
You said that as we were watching it, and I was like, what is he...
It's the C maneuver, and this guy named Mystery and Neil Strauss, he wrote the books The Game and The Mystery Method, have coined the C maneuver, where you draw a C on a girl's face right before you go to kiss her.
There should be a better name for that, dude.
This is what it is. It's the C maneuver. Or the like the you have a hair right there maneuver. I don't know what else to. What would you call it?
I don't know, like a cupper or something.
A cupper. That sounds like Two Girl One Cupper.
I know. That one does. But C maneuver. Do you not hear that? C maneuver.
Oh, I just heard it.
Yeah. Am I crazy?
But I don't refer to that as the C.
Okay. Let us know what you guys think in this huge debate.
But okay, so then they go to Smash together, and to kind of help, Maggie gives Liza a Xanax.
Oh. Yeah.
And not that I crossfade, but there's some, for those of you who don't know, if you take a Xanax and you have even one drink, you're gonna feel it. Mm-hmm. And the crossfade is ridiculous,
embarrassing,
and especially if she's never taken a Xanax before, and she just pops the whole thing, ready to rock, and she starts getting really drunk. And it was funny because it was such a quick moment that I remember you looked over at me and you're like, Is she drunk? Is she on drugs? And I forgot about it too. And then I realized, oh, she's chocolate wasted right now. Mm-hmm. And passes out. Doesn't even get to Smash.
Well, but then Josh, okay, this kind of annoyed me. Yeah. He should be a big strapping man. I wanted him to pick her up and at least put her on the couch. He draped her like she was dead.
He weighs $150 tops. He's a tiny. He's built.
Whatever. Pick her up. Don't let her just sleep on the floor. He puts a blanket over her like an Indian burial or something. It looked weird.
I thought it was a nice gesture that he gave her a blanket. A pillow would have also been would have been nice.
Literally, she just was sleeping on the floor.
But sometimes you just gotta leave it where it lies, And the more comfortable that way. Maybe he didn't want to wake her. She looked comfortable and adorable.
Yeah, okay.
And definitely wanted, maybe a Snapchat was needed.
You know what? Maybe he like drew on her later.
No, maybe.
Maybe he tattooed her in her sleep and she's going to find it on her butt in like a week.
Boom, boom, boom.
That would be creepy.
But the thing is no, they'd find out right away, because the next day when they're out and about, Maggie and Liza, she gets a text. I can't wait. I need to see you now. And she is thirsty. They're both thirsty. And she went for it, shows up, and it was, I loved that they had Scissor Sisters playing, because I'm a big Scissor Sister fan, and I think the Scissor Sisters are sexy, and they're fun, and it's party music, so I thought it was a perfect call for some Scissor Sisters to walk through the montage, the pre-coitus montage.
Yes, and as we see for our scenes from next week, it just continues, which, like...
It gets, TVLand.
Yeah,
Two snaps way up.
Waking the old people up now, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to you before. I said that Sutton kind of reminds me of Sally Field.
Yes.
And I never really looked at Sally Field that way. Then I saw previews for next week.
Now you're gonna have weird dreams about Sally Field.
Well, maybe, but Sally Field, I can't disrespect Sally Field with weird dreams. Oh, now I'm gonna have a weird dream. I'll update you if I do have a weird dream.
Please don't.
No, I won't go into. Okay, never mind. I won't update. But that brings us. Then it cut to them definitely going to Smash.
Yeah.
And then it gave us a montage of what is to come for these next couple episodes. So let's just jump right into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ladies first.
Well...
And we can go along with what we've seen, because they've given us a little something to work with.
Well, I mean, sex, which is great. That is going to continue to happen, probably.
I like.
Yes, and it's going to seem to make Liza feel younger, more carefree. She finally... that was perfect. She finally feels like she's younger again, but she's going to either share her age... she's going to have to share it with someone new in the next 2 episodes. And I think that when Josh finds out, he's going to be mad, not because she's old, but because she didn't tell him and she wasn't honest. And he's going to pull that. When really, it probably is kind of weird she's 40, but he's just going to pull the dishonesty card. And and Liza's daughter is going to come back at some point, I hope.
Yeah, okay. I like all of those. I think that there's gonna be different love interests from season to season, much like we had in Sex and the City with Mr. Big and
Aiden.
Yeah, there's different guys for different seasons. There's not. I mean, this hasn't been picked up for a full season. There's only a couple more shows left. I hope it gets picked up. I want to see what else happens.
Yeah.
But I think that they could set it up for another season really quick by Liza meeting another guy. Mm-hmm. And Liza going, okay, well, good luck, Josh, with your young filly. I got a successful Wall Street guy in my pocket now. And
then maybe she'll come back to him.
Right.
He's grown up a little bit.
Right. And then there's more. So I think that might happen. I think there might be some more shenanigans going on, because if she wants to explore life, she can't just settle with the guy around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got to go a little bit further down the block,
5 times. No, just
not like she's a streetwalker.
No,
that was a bad analogy, but you guys know what I mean.
Gotta have some fun.
Yeah, I think she's gonna meet another guy, and I think that the guy's gonna be vastly different, maybe significantly older than her.
Perhaps.
Shoe on the other foot. Now she's the young one.
Oh.
So guys, if you want to find out what happens, keep watching Younger. Share your predictions and tell us what you think about this show in the comments below. Mm-hmm. Tweet at us. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at JoJo Doyle.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43 and online at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com.
Check out Younger Tuesday nights.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.